The Buffalo Bills made it clear in 2025 that they were determined to rebuild their defense from the ground up, and that should start with the heart of the line. They picked 5 defensive players including 2 tackles in the early rounds of last year's draft, but by all accounts this trench-focused approach is far from over. In a new 3-round mock draft by Pro Football Network's Joe Dillion, the Bills are back on the high horse literally. Their pick this time is Kristen Miller, a 6 feet 4,300-pound Georgia giant who stands 6 feet 4 and is a force to be reckoned with. Miller isn't just impressive in size, his explosiveness in the first step combined with an extremely strong lower base makes him a machine for disrupting ground plays from the snap, the kind of talent that turns the interior of the defensive line into forbidden territory for any opposing running back even if his college stats don't jump out at you. Miller is a typical player whose impact goes far beyond the numbers. He takes up space, draws double blocks and creates opportunities for linebackers to clear the game with freedom. This selection raises an interesting point: why is it possible to boost an area that has already received so much investment? After all, the draft bills have already been made with bets on TJ Sanders in the 2nd round and Deon Walker in the 4th round of the 2025 draft. The answer is urgency. Defending the run game was one of the team's weakest points last season. In crucial games, time gave way in situations where it was essential to control the clock. The front office knows that if it wants to truly compete in January, it needs to be dominant in the trenches, and Miller could be the ideal fit to complete that puzzle. But Joe Dellion's simulation doesn't end with the defensive wall. In the 2nd round, the Bills would go after Mike Lemon, an explosive wide receiver from USC known for his speed and ability to stretch the field. In the 3rd, the choice would be Roman Hemi, a versatile running back from Indiana with excellent vision and quick cut. This latest presentation is particularly noteworthy because of the uncertainty surrounding James Cook after his rookie contract ends. Cook could test the market as a free agent, and if he doesn't renew, Buffalo will have to prioritize the position sooner than expected. What this simulation reveals is a very clear strategy: continue to blind the defense while still thinking about safe options for the offense. The Bills are building a roster to win now, but without losing sight of the future, and that starts in the trenches where championships are often decided. And speaking of difficult decisions, if the board is reinforcing the defensive front with new players, what should they do with a veteran who was once a star at the position but now has doubts about his future? That's what we'll see next with the delicate case involving Matt Milano in Buffalo. Some names carry more than just stats, they carry identity and at least represent that. Like Matt Milano, the veteran linebacker chosen for the ALLP Pro team in 2022 has always been consistent, intense and intelligent defensively, but time, injuries and physical challenges have started to take their toll, and now Milano's future is officially on the table. According to Trevor Siekema, an analyst at Pro Football Focus, it may be time for the Bills to look ahead and prepare an impactful replacement in the 2026 draft. Let's get to the facts. Milano shone in 2022 with 89 tackles, 1.5 sacks and 3 interceptions, one of which was returned for a touchdown, a performance that solidifies him as one of the most valuable pieces of the defense. However, since then his body has been fighting a silent battle. In the last 2 seasons he has played only 9 games. The decline in performance is visible, and although he continues to be respected in the locker room, the franchise knows that relying exclusively on his recovery may be too high a risk. Siekema advocates a bold approach, using the first pick of the upcoming draft to bring in Texas to return to practice. There's a real mental component to it too. McDermott said he's found a rhythm and he's seen flashes of the old Milano on the field. The lack of further offseason surgeries may help, but will it be enough? Another dilemma is the lack of reliable alternatives on the current roster. Terrell Bernard had a disappointing 2024 with a PFF grade of 48.2, ranking among the worst-rated linebackers in the league. Even so, he received a 4-year extension, which suggests that the board is still betting on his development. Dorian Williams, still in the middle of his Heat contract, has not established himself as a solution in Milan's contract. Although the coaches are in the final year, there are 2 void years attached that the accounts can convert. In other words, if the veteran is healthy and willing, the door for a return is still ajar, but the ideal scenario could be another. Keep Milano as a mentor for a promising Heat. Someone like York can start the transition with security and depth. The reality is harsh but decisive. Great moments require making difficult decisions, and replacing a legend before he completely declines is one of those choices. The Bills know this. We are paying attention and we plan each step with precision, and if the possible succession in the middle of the defense is already on the radar, there is another quiet movement gaining strength in Buffalo. 2 new names have caught the attention of analysts and could change the game as early as 2025. While headlines are swirling about potential trades and veterans coming out of contracts, 2 names have been quietly rising on the NFL radar, and both are wearing blue and red in Orchard Park. We're talking about Maxwell Hairston and Landon Jackson, 2 draft reinforcements who arrived without much fanfare but who could become pillars of the Buffalo Bills defense as early as 2025. Who made this projection? None other than ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, one of the league's most respected analysts. Fowler, known for constantly interviewing NFL executives, scouts and coaches, recently participated in one Bills Live and brought an analysis that excited the fans. According to him, although the Bills didn't make flashy moves in the first rounds of the last draft like selecting a star WR, the decision to focus on defense was strategic and smart. This is a time when we need to renew defensively from a depth, explosiveness and energy standpoint. The Bills got it right, said the analyst. Let's get to the names. Maxwell Hairston was the 30th overall pick and quickly drew attention for his performance at the NFL Combine, especially his speed in the 40-yard dash. More than that, Hairston is physical, aggressive and unafraid of contact. He's the kind of quarterback who plays with attitude, who goes on the field to hit and not just to cover. And the most interesting thing is that he's already in direct competition with Tre'Davious White and Dane Jackson for a starting spot. Hairston arrives to challenge situations on the other side of the line. Landon Jackson was chosen in the 3rd round in the 72nd position, and although he was later taken, he is considered by many to be a steal, a real bargain. 2-time All-Sec, Jackson has the ideal body type to be an edge rusher, tall, strong, explosive and with long arms. He has already stood out in training and perfectly adapted to the physical profile that Buffalo has been looking for this role for years. What's more, he showed elite athleticism at the Combine, reinforcing his status as a future key player. Fowler doesn't hesitate to say that both have top-notch potential, that is, they can not only contribute but become stars or even Pro Bowlers in the coming years. What does this mean in practice? That Buffalo may be seeing right now the birth of 2 next-generation defensive leaders, and this growth comes at a strategic time despite the presence of established names like Ed Oliver, Christian Benford, Matt Milano and Terrell Bernard. The defense needs new blood, and more than that, players with personality.